In India, there's a National Payment Corporation of India established in December 2008. This has been set up by Indian Banks Association under the mandate from Reserve Bank of India. And the objective is to build a national level central infrastructure, coverage of which covers various retail payment systems. Again, as I said, retail payment system are not necessarily cards alone, but it could be online payment system, it could be others. Provide robust payment solutions to bank and financial institutions across India. Now it is, again, as I said, directed by federal authorities, so it is governed by the provisions of Payment and Settlement Systems Act of 2007. What does National Payment Corporation of India do? It has built a switch with wide range of services such as UID compatibility, mobile-based transaction, and POS transaction. India Pay Mobile Payment Services is another initiative of NPCI. Check truncation system being operationalized now at Chennai. National ATM and POS network, India Pay cards, and ACH is another activity that NPCI does. Okay, extrapolating what is happening globally into the Indian scenario. Okay, what are the drawbacks of the current system in India? First of all, as always, oblique pricing structure that treats and prices the credit and debit card in a similar manner has several drawbacks that hinder its growth and popularity. Okay, merchants are happy, and if you come to think of it, 0.1% of people having cards use their debit cards, as against 1.3% of the people having credit cards use a credit card. So typically it is the people wanting this extra credit who are wanting this extra credit who are more prone to using the credit cards. Thereby, despite the cash being made available through debit cards, the debit cards usage has been minimal. Now, some features of the product even cause potential risk to the user. Come to think of it, if you pay only the minimum charge for the month and do not pay the balance, do not pay the complete balance, the interest that is being charged to you is also not only on the unpaid balance of your previous month's credit card, but also on all additional purchases you make till you pay your next outstanding amount of the credit card. So now, some of these hidden things are making making usage of these cards into a potential risk for the users. Debit cards are heavily underutilized. And there is this lower acceptability of cards by merchants. Once upon a time that was the case, but now when you talk of smaller merchants, yes, they do not accept cards. Again, gray market flourishes, cost of currency management is increasing. Even today, there's a lot that people are happy paying for cash. Lack of accountability. I mean, even today, accountability from the merchant side or the acquirer side also, cards are being issued without proper credit checks, without proper checks in terms of authenticity of the person to whom the card is issued, especially by banks who do not have who issue cards for the sake of issuing cards as against issuing cards to their account holders. Potential of fraud in India, our systems are yet to develop to a point where we can prevent, we can convert it into a foolproof system. Foolproof system does not exist anywhere, but yet in India there is a risk is relatively higher. Now, there's a need for RBI. What do you think could possibly lead to redressal of all the drawbacks that we saw in the previous slide? One of the thoughts that come to mind is there is a need for RBI to subsidize switch charges to promote cashless payments. There is a high cost to cash management. There is a high cost of printing currency, and there it makes doesn't call for too much of wisdom that cashless transactions are much more efficient in terms of dealing with it. So there's a time has come when RBI should subsidize switch charges to promote cashless payments. Given the cost and risk involved in handling cash, banks need to favorably price electronic products. and a situation where electronic products are costlier than paper products should not arise. Now today, if you pay 40% on if you default on your credit card thing, your electronic charge is far higher than your cash charge. So the idea is to make sure that the electronic products are not too high priced, so that people get more and more encouraged to use the cards. The interchange fee on credit cards should therefore be left to the issuer banks, and competition should dictate the pricing in consonance with RBI general policy on non-priority sector personal loans. Look at, come to think of it, the credit card actually is a personal loan in one form. So you have 10 credit cards, and each one of them having a credit limit of 3 lakhs each. You end up having actually a personal loan of 30 lakhs. So in consonance with RBI's general policy on non-priority sector personal loans, it is the one of the recommendations is that the interchange fee on credit card should be left to the issuer banks and the competition to dictate the pricing. In order to provide convenience to both merchants and cardholders, cash withdrawal at point of sale should be clubbed along with purchase, so as to reduce cost and increasing efficiency in cash handling. Today this is happening everywhere else, except I have the countries that I have been to, I have seen this happen. But in India, we haven't come to a point where cash withdrawal at the POS is allowed. So that is one of the other. So if you want cash, at the same time you want to buy something, you will have to make 2 transactions. That is, 1, go to the ATM, collect cash, and 2, at the POS, use your debit card or a credit card. So now the same thing could have been done through one single transaction. Now this is interesting. An appropriate tax rebate can be extended to a merchant if at least 50% value of his transactions are through cards. Now this is actually in consonance with the very first bullet on the same slide, that there is a need for RBI to subsidize switch charges to promote cashless payments. The government should minimize, if not eliminate, the duties and taxes on manufacture and sale of EDC machines to promote its acceptability. Why I have kept this as the last bullet is because, as I said, we are talking about card services as a larger horizon, larger landscape, the canvas of card services. So if card services has to be efficient, and if the government has to step in, then an appropriate tax rebate can be extended to a merchant if at least 50% value of his transactions are through cards. The government should minimize, if not eliminate, the duties and taxes on manufacture and sale of EDC machines to promote its acceptability.